Yo, this is Tommy TTM, and today I'm gonna talk about what is happening in Europe of 2026 as the first subject topic, and in the second subject topic, I'm gonna talk about what is happening in Southeast Asia of 2026, and then I may do a video about what is happening in America of 2026. Um, Even though there's so much stuff you know, I can complain about America, in my own personal views, there's so much problems, not just in America, but in the whole world. But other countries is not like, America is not like Canada. Every countries have their own problems. Every country have their own culture, environment, their own rules and, laws. Each country they have, either a more strict rules and laws or other countries they have a less strict rules and laws where you can do whatever you want as long as you're not doing anything illegal. All right, so I want to talk about what is happening in Europe of 2026 by AI overview. So let's get into it. So in 2026 Europe is buzzing with major events like the Milan Cortina Winter Olympics, two European capitals of culture, Oulu and Shenzhen, and iconic festivals, Carnival, Eurovision, Tomorrowland. Okay, that's cool. So there's gonna be a big Olympics in Europe and some type of European uh cultural iconic festivals that's happening. All right, alongside significant political discussions around the EU, independence, and climate action, while travelers increasingly explore Eastern Europe for value, expect big sporting events, cultural celebration, new art hubs, and strategic policy shifts as the continent navigates security and economic challenges. So that's what's going to happen in Europe of the year 2026. Right now, we are in 2026. This is the first month of 2026 right now, right here. It's still the beginning of the year. Um, yeah. So, what are the major events in culture in Europe of 2026? So, here's the major events in culture in Europe this year, 2026. Sports, the 2026 Winter Olympics in Milan, whatever how you call it, in Cortina, Italy. So there's gonna be a Winter Olympic sports in Italy in February, plus the glamorous Monaco Grand Prix in June. Wow, so this is gonna be some type of Olympic sport in Monaco. That's where all the rich people go. That's where all the rich European people go. They go to Monaco. Yeah, Monaco. Yeah, that's a nice, beautiful place where they have nice restaurant, boats, cars, people, men wearing suits, women wearing dress, high heels. All right, what the capitals of culture in Europe 2026? Oulu, Finland, and Trenčín, Slovakia host events are focusing on cultural climate change and local heritage. Festivals, Carnival, Nice or Nice, Cologne, Eurovision, Vienna, and huge music festival like Tomorrowland, Belgium, and I don't know how to say it, Szigit, Hungary. New attractions in the major events and culture in Europe. Brussels is emerging as an art hub. I don't know how to say it, but it's called Crete. Crete offers new resorts and new transport hotels are appearing for the Olympics. So there's gonna be some type of artwork hub and new resort and new transportation and new hotels are gonna appear for the Olympics. Okay. Okay, political and strategic focus in Europe. EU independence. European Commission highlights Europe's independence moment, focusing on shaping its future in climate, defense, and the economy. All right, interesting. All right, security challenges in Europe is the security challenges is concerns remain over security, particularly regarding Russia and Ukraine, influence strategic choices for the EU in 2026. All right, that's pretty great for EU to have a political and strategic focus. Hmm. Travel trends in Europe. All right, what's going on in the travel trending uh uh movement? Eastern Europe rising. Hey, interesting. Okay, Eastern Europe is actually more safe to visit and travel to than Western Europe. Western Europe right now is it's insane over there. All the illegal immigrant pickpocketers, scammers, street, false, fake, you know, selling street scammers, pickpocketing, and those, illegal, Middle Easterns who's going there trying to spread their, God, the violent, Islamic Muslim law, which is not good, you know. And the UK, they need to fix that up. They better hurry up and fix the country together, the environment, the laws and rules of who can come in and who cannot. Also, Spain and France, they have all those illegal, unknown, weird immigrants over there too. Even Germany, Italy too. Western Europe is bad compared to Eastern Europe. Eastern Europe is a lot more clean and safe. Lower percentage of pickpocketers, lower percentage of knife stabbers, lower percentage of street scammers, lower percentage of illegal immigrants. For example, you go to Poland, you read up about Poland. There's no illegal immigrants there, or no illegal immigrants from India or the Middle East. People, the 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 president in Poland, he has a strict rule, a strict law that say, hey, you can only come to my country in Poland if you have some type of you know proof of working business or working, you know, proof of certification or, you know, career proof of identification that you can show to Poland that you can go live and work there. Yeah, so Poland's pretty safe. Poland's safe, Belarus is safe, Lithuania, Latvia, Estonia, Hungary, Romania, Bulgaria, Serbia, Greece, those countries are pretty safe, to be honest, compared more so than the UK, France, Spain, Italy, Germany, But UK is in the most bad position right now. So it's not even good to live there with the high tax, high cost of living, man, homeless. All right, so what is the travel trend? So Eastern Europe is rising. Uh, Travelers are flocking to countries like Bulgaria, Czech Republic for culture and lower costs of price of food and living. Okay. Hey, go Eastern Europe, go. So Eastern Europe and Central Europe is doing pretty good with the social environment, with the, you know, with the social environment, the social culture, the the political area, and the cost of price there is pretty good as well. Eastern Central is a lot cheaper to afford to buy food, to rent an apartment there, more so than Western Europe. Western Europe is way more expensive. It's like Canada is more expensive to live and to buy food than the US, But I have to say that both US and Canada are both expensive for now in 2026. You gotta be making like 100 grand or $1 million a year to survive in these expensive, pricey, crazy countries. So new routes and connectivity, improved transport, and digital options make travel smoother. Okay, nice. So the travel trending movement in Europe is there's new way of improvement of transportation. Like in Europe, you can afford to transport yourself from one European country to another European country. You can pay for a train transportation in the train subway and transport yourself. Like let's say you could go from Spain to France, France to Italy, and then Italy to Austria, Italy to Croatia, Italy to Serbia, Italy to Greece, So Europe has train transportation in their country. That's what I read up years ago. I've been knowing this. I've been knowing that European countries has way better transportation than, let's say, Canada or the US. You know, since European countries are not far apart, as the US is and Canada is. That's why it's easy to use a train transportation to get a 1 hour ride or 2 hour ride from one European country to another European that fast and that quick. Simple as that. See, in the US, they lack a lot of transportation. They don't have easy access, train transportation access, and they don't have a lot of easy access of you using your foot, you know, or a bicycle from riding from your home. Many Americans, what I'm trying to say is, many Americans they don't have an easy access transportation. Like they need a car everywhere they live. You got to have a car in the U.S. to transport yourself from your apartment or your home or your neighborhood, from there to the store, there to the mall, there to the gym, here and there. I can, I to me, I prefer a transportation where I can use my foot or a bicycle or a low price of cost to rent myself a a car, delivery riders give me a ride to get to my main destination. That's why I prefer. I'm gonna be real honest with you. I'm not really into driving a car for a maximum of 1 hour or more than 1 hour. That's not me. I'm not a loving, you know, driving type of mental mindset type of person. You know. Some people they can handle uh driving a car for about an hour or far distance with all those crazy traffics, rough roads that you will experience in the US, even in Canada as well. So to be honest, Europe has a better easy access transportation. Like there's not just taxi drivers. You could use like those those car rider pickups, like Uber or Lyft, and those other you know vehicle pickup delivery apps that you download on your phone. and you create an account, and then all you gotta do is click which ride you want, SUV, a car, a truck. Well, in Europe, there's not no trucks. Maybe there is. I never been there. I will be there. But in Europe, since the roads are so like narrow compared to the U.S. and Canada, the road is not so wide. So most of the vehicle in Europe is a a car or SUV, and a scooter and a motorcycle, because the roads in Europe is more narrow, you know. And what I like about Europe is that the streets, you can walk out literally in the streets, anywhere in the street. You can walk out in the street, anywhere in the street, from your house or your apartment to the grocery store or to a bookstore. That's why Europe has a better, you know, public walking ability and public, transportation than America, than also than Canada. You can research this up too. Look up, facts to know about Europe, and it shows you right there. That's what I did, and you could look up Europe versus America, or Europe versus Canada, and it shows you everything right there. Everything is on Google, guys. Google is like God showing you the answers. It's like Google is like God giving you the answers right there. All right. So in Europe, what to expect? A packed calendar of cultural experiences from traditional fairs to modern music. Okay. Focus on sustainability, digital innovation, and cultural resilience. And lastly, ongoing strategic discussion on defense, climate, and economic security. Okay, okay, cool, cool. So this is what the AI overview of simple, quick, answer that I'm being given to about what's going on in Europe, of 2026. So thank you guys. I don't want to make this video too long. It's been great speaking of the discussion of what is happening in Europe in 2026, and a little bit of a comparison of Europe in America and in Canada as well. This is Tommy TTM. Stay subscribed it and put a comment and like below. All right.